2-minute warning. Football Fury's back for the last down. Treso down. No. Sorry, we're not in Espanol. I'm just kidding. But what we are going to be talking about is the NFL draft is 35 days away. It's getting close, folks. I'm getting a little excited. But there's a lot of big-name running backs out there, Fox and Tim. A lot of big-name running backs, and they still haven't signed anything. No contract, no pen to paper, nothing. And I'm talking about big-name backs. Like, we got Adrian Peterson out there. We got Jamaal Charles out there. We got DeAngelo Williams out there. We got LeGarrette Blount still out there. Do these guys need to start worrying? Are GMs and owners really starting to just go straight for more rookies and younger people?
Well, did we not see Ezekiel Elliott last year? Did not we see Zeke, what a young back can do, especially when you draft him in the first round with the 50 option? You're only giving him $4 million for his 4.5 years, rather than spending $7 million a year what these guys want. I mean, if you sign these running backs for that type of money, you're basically signing their resume. You're not signing their production we think he's gonna be. So of course they got a lot to worry about. They're on their last way out. They're trying to make that nice extra buck before they retire. It's like Stephen Jones said, why should we pay money for guys who once they sign that contract, they won't play the season like the way you think they would? When we looking at Adrian Peterson, don't look at Adrian Peterson at 21 years old. Look at him at 32. Can he carry the full load? Jamaal Charles, listen, 2 knees. My thing is this: the draft has pretty good running backs in the first 2 to 3 rounds, and if you can get those guys.
We losing them?
Hey, Fog, you there, Fog?
Oh, okay, there we go. Had a little bit of a connection
like
issue.
I lost you, yeah, man.
I was doing some Cleon stuff. No, but listen,
I don't look. I agree with you. I think running back. I think these running backs should moderately worry because they're old. They have a injury history. There's a lot of things going against them. The deck is stacked against them from that aspect, and I think there needs to be something. It's something to be said that I'm not so much Ezekiel Elliott and his success. I think that's something that is. We're talking about a team that had an issue prior to. Their season last year, where injuries aided them in getting that draft pick. Their offensive line wasn't an issue, but the rest of these guys, it's not like you're going to be drafting the guy that's going to be a immediate superstar like Ezekiel Elliott. I think a lot of these teams are being more judicial with the way they are spending their money and figuring, okay, I'm getting a running back who's in his in his early 30s, who's out of the apex of his career, that is potentially not going to be able to produce the same way. Like you said, Tim, you're not looking at 21-year-old or 22-year-old Adrian Peterson. You're looking at 31-year-old Adrian Peterson. So there's a different way to look at him. Plus the injuries. Jamaal Charles, the same way. LeGarrette Blount. LeGarrette Blount has only been successful in his career thus far in New England. So what does that say about him? Do you really have somebody there that's going to be a success on your team? DeAngelo Williams. Look, he had a resurgence. It's great that he did. But, again, we're talking about a guy who's 10 years into his career. How much more does he have left in the tank? So while Josh said, we have all these great running backs out there, yeah, all these great running backs are already outside of their prime or at the tail end of their prime, whether it be, father time, whether it be injuries. It may be beneficial to sit back and say, let me see what's out there from a draft aspect, from a youth aspect, as opposed to paying out this money to a player that is done, may be considered done, or will be done in the next year or two.
You know, it's interesting, too, because I'm here looking at Spot Rack, and these running backs that have been signed so far, ranging from 25 to 29 years old, weren't even the running backs to get the most longevity in a contract. It was actually Danny Woodhead, who's 32. He actually got a 3-year deal with Baltimore, and there was only 2 other running backs that got even close to that. It was a 2-year deal for both Jaquiz Rodgers and Robert Turbin. So that was interesting to me, given a 3-year deal to a 32-year-old running back who's coming off an ACL injury. I understand he's versatile in the passing and running attack, but to me, that was like, whoa, coming from Baltimore. What I also wanted to bring up as well, looking at Spot Rack, this was really interesting to me, and it does speak volumes on the passing game. But a little trivia for you, Tim, and you, Fogs. Ranking this year, free agent spending by position. Mind you, there's 20 total positions.
Right.
Where do you think running back ranked out of 20 positions for free agent spending this year so far? Out of 1 through 20, where do you think they're listed?
19. If you count
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say. I'll say 16 or 17.
That's a very good guess because they are actually 17.
Ding, 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 ding,
17 is running back at $28.2 million. Get this, 16 is kicker. They actually earned more so far than running backs in the NFL and free agency. Below running back would just be punter, long snapper, and tackle. So this is really a big testament, I think, in my opinion, showing that the league truly is honoring more of the receiver classes, and they're kind of just, the running back position, let's just go for the whoever's in the, the 22 to 28 range. That's fine. And then once they get to that 29-30 area, it's like, unless they're really, really good. But other than that, there's no reason to keep them around.
That's why I've always, this is why I'll talk to a couple of buddies of mine, and I had told them, I said this. If any player, even we'll stay with the running backs, if you like Joe Mixon will be making more money than Fournette and Dalvin Cook in the long run. You know why? Because of that 5th-year option. He won't be there for the 5th-year option. All he needs to do is produce for 3 years. Once you produce for 3 years, you're already putting the organization on notice. You want to get paid, and if not, you probably get franchised or you get traded. But you're going to get paid. That 5th-year option is so leveraged that, my God, you're keeping a guy there till he's damn near 26. And let's keep this real. A running back is going to want a 2 contract. You may not get 2. You may just get that 1 contract that we gave you from your rookie deal. And that's about it. So you're at 26 years old. You got 27, 28, 29, you got 30. You got 4 more years left. Fox just said it a few minutes ago that the age difference.
Yeah.
So that means if you sign that running back for another 4 or 5 years, you're really going to have him to his top probably 2 to 3. So this is why, listen, the one who waits, the better it will be towards the end. And this is going to happen. All these running backs are basically used by the NFL draft. If you're a first round, tag, you ain't 50 option. You're with us till you're 26 years old. And that's it.
Yeah. Pretty much agree with you there, Tim. Yeah, and I feel that's exactly like I just said, pretty much, the GMs and owners, they're just going with the running backs that are in that prime position of the 22 to 28 range. And it seems unless they fit that specific mold and what they're looking for, a la Danny Woodhead with the Baltimore Ravens game, they're really not going to get any more looks, unfortunately, especially this year. Specifically with the depth of class that's coming in the running backs out of college this year, it really does, I think, hamper those older free agents this year. And who do you honestly think? Are we going to see AP eventually sign with anybody or Jamaal Charles?
I think so. I think, you know what? And this is what I can't wait for the draft. I cannot wait. When we see Dalvin Cook and Fournette go to the teams we think like Jacksonville, Carolina, or the Jets,
Colts for
you're
Dalvin
gonna
Cook
see all Colts,
yeah.
right? You know what? Adds another good team that can use Adrian Peterson.
Right.
You're gonna see who's gonna cave in first. The guy who wants to play, or the team. Damn, you know what? We didn't get the guy you want, because here's the thing: you want everybody in by April 2nd. April 2nd is a very important date. April 2nd is WrestleMania. April 3rd, which is my birthday. That's an important day. But anyhow,
mark that down, people.
Oh, party time. All right, but here's the thing. That's the first week of April is the time when the teams report to the facility, taking whatever the coach staff wants you to do. Drop this way, pick up this way. Your playbook. You off vacation. You're now working with each other at your time during the off season until minicamp comes on in May. So April is right there, right around the corner. And here's the thing, guys. Somebody's got to cave in. Like Bob McNair with the Houston Texans about Tony Romo or John Elway. Somebody's got to cave in. Somebody's got to say, okay, here. It's going to be fun. It's going to be very fun.
I can't wait for the draft, man, because these GMs and owners, they're humans, man. They're just like us. And I can't help but think that in the current situation, when you're up there and you're in that big light NFL draft stage, you're going to react sometimes like we do. You're going to get giddy. You're going to see that player, and you're going to think, oh, my God, what could he do for us? And then you just overreact and you go with that moment. And it's, the draft is just so amazing. Like you said, you just can't wait because you don't know how these owners are also going to anticipate and what kind of feelings, reactions they're going to get when you're down there in New York City Hall and you got, Goodell's strawberry blonde ass with the light beaming off his forehead, and, the lights are all going off and you're just getting hyped yourself. You got Stephen Jones in the war room just stripping off his button-up collar shirt and just whipping his dad in the face. The draft is awesome, man. But Fox, I know you were working on the mock draft. I don't know if you also were kind of skimming around free agents yourself, but do you think these players have a home? Do you think Jamaal Charles is going to end up somewhere? LeGarrette Blount, maybe?
I think they'll all end up somewhere. I think guys like Jamaal Charles, I think LeGarrette Blount, they're going to end up with a borderline league minimum contract, in my opinion.
Terrible.
I think injury history is going to do Jamaal Charles dirty. And LeGarrette Blount is just going to be, how effective he's going to be. Like I said before, we're talking about a guy that hasn't been a quality running back outside of running in New England. So is this guy just a system type running back, or more importantly, a culture type running back where I operate well, where the culture accommodates me or I enjoy?
Well, here's the thing. I think LeGarrette Blount will go back to New England. He's going to go back to New England. Adrian Peterson and Jamaal Charles, they're treating this free agency as if they're 21 years old. When they're on top of this world and not realizing, listen, you're older. Not saying you can't play football, but they're not going to put that much investment into you. I think Adrian Peterson, I think Beast Mode will probably stay retired. I think AP will sign with the Raiders. And I think Jamaal Charles will go to the Philadelphia Eagles.
That would be a scary fit, man. That's my one fear, because if Charles stays healthy,
yeah. And see, now here's the thing.
Carson Wentz, in my eyes, to give respect, I think he's going to be a great quarterback, and I fear for him in his sophomore year because he's got some weapons coming along. They're serviceable weapons too. So.
But I think Jamaal Charles will be the scarier. I think him going to Philly, he will be the scariest one.
That would be. And, it's interesting with Blount that you guys talk about it, because looking at Eddie Lacy, I would imagine he's going to try to ask for more than what Eddie Lacy's currently getting, and he got around 4.25 with Seattle for 1 year. And, LeGarrette's going to obviously use the agent tactic, and they're both going to use the tactic of stats. I had 18 TDs, and I had this many rushing yards, and Lacy's getting this much. And but like you guys say, because of the market and because of the supply and demand pretty much with the draft coming up, it's going to be sad. Yeah, I don't even know if LeGarrette Blount will get more than Jacquizz Rodgers right now at 3.3 for 2 years. He's going to probably get something really incentive laced, in my opinion, wherever he ends up.
Yeah.
And you know what? I know some Patriots fans are saying, why we can't get Adrian Peterson? You know why? Because here's the thing. There's only one mouth. There's one mouth that's allowed to speak besides Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick, and that's Tom Brady. One mouth in the clubhouse. When he speaks, everybody shut up. AP has been the guy. AP will have to go there and take a back roll. Like, if you're not running the ball, you're not going to Belichick. So why we're not running the ball, or you're not going to staff. You're gonna shut up. So that's why I see Blount going back there. You know why? Because he knows the team. They know him. Better fit with the Raiders. Cave in. They're gonna cave in. They want Beast. If Beast Mode comes out, great thing. But I see Peterson going there, and let's see how that works out. The black hole.
I kind of had another proposal for you guys before we end the night here.
Go ahead.
I found this interesting. Like the running backs we just listed, even for the age that they're getting up to, how were these running backs that we thought were done? Why are they even still in the league? How are they getting these 1-year contracts almost good for $1 million? People like CJ Spiller and Andre Ellington and Travaris Cadet. Why are these people getting the deals? Why not have these running backs, that are more experienced, like the APs, that, obviously if they probably can't get anything for the money they're looking for. Why not just sign something a little more than that around the $1-2 million area if you still really want to play and you're not going to get, the 4 or 5 that you're probably looking for in this market?
Well, the ego, in my opinion, the ego is number one. Ego is a big thing. And number two, those guys like Travis Cadet, those guys could do more than just run the ball. They can also catch. Jamaal Charles, don't get me wrong, can do that. He did everything with Kansas City. With Adrian Peterson, you just pounding ground. But are you the same Peterson? No, I don't. We all know that. But these guys' egos are too big, and they feel like they $7-8 million receivers. $8 million running backs, and they're not. So like CJ Spiller, even though Seattle didn't really use him last year as much, the game against the New York Jets, he scored. He had a great score, and he was receiving the ball. They want running backs who know how to catch out the backfield as well, not just a handoff. And that's the thing about it. Why pay you for you to do like Eddie Lacy? He's only getting $1 million 1 year, $5 million. Why? Because first of all, we can't invest that much into you. Number one. Number two, we have to tell you about your weight problem. You can't keep the weight off. So let's say what if you gain more weight during the season? I don't have to worry about you next year because you only signed a 1-year deal. Listen, it's gonna be so funny how this all plays out in April, especially after the owners' meeting. We're gonna see these rumors spice up. Who's going where? Where's Tony Romo going? I can't wait. Cannot wait.
Of course, you can't wait for that.
Broke Mo. And you know what? Dulla's not here. I'm gonna call out Della. Dulla's our brother. That's our brother. But you know what? He don't know how to apologize when it's time. And he always
you're really hurt about this. Huh?
I really am hurt. Because
I think this is the third week in a row he's looking for an apology.
You know what?
He's looking for an apology, and he's really upset about it.
I'm really upset about it. Because
he's saltier than the Dead Sea right now.
Because I picked the Detroit Lions to go 11-5 and 12-4, and he didn't believe me, and he did. I was the only one.
Flip-flop, sir. You got to explain yourself.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I told him Romo will be on a new. If Romo don't retire, he will be traded. He's going to be traded, and
he's not going to be traded.
Yes, he is. You know why
he's not going to be traded?
Fogman, please.
You know what the Cowboys are right now? They think they're Phil Ivey at the poker table. They think they're bluffing everyone when it's like, Phil, you got a deuce 7 in your hand. Just put it down. Stop. Stop.
Listen.
Get it over with.
Listen. I can't. If they're playing like Phil Ivey, I can't question it. I know the man firsthand. So I watched.
All right, insert another bad poker player.
I watched him bluff many people out of their paychecks when we worked while he was making his travels to AC before he became who he is now. So yeah, I won't question that.
Well, here's the thing. And again, Del, if you're watching, I do want my apology, and it will be 2 apologies because here's the thing. Okay, we just said April teams are reporting to the facility. Right. So you want your players in. I don't think it's good for a quarterback to show up to the new team in June. If he doesn't mind waiting till June, hey, we'll let him go in June. I think that's kind of too long.
Tim, if he's an experienced quarterback with the IQ that Romo has, what does it really matter?
I'm glad you asked that. You know why, Favre? Because here's the thing. If I'm a franchise quarterback and I come onto the team, I know I'm going to say, Favre, I want to invite you to my house. We're gonna throw passes, Josh. We're gonna throw passes around. We're gonna work on things by ourselves to translate in practice and on the field. You want Hopkins, Fedowitz, Braxton Miller, the nice offense they have there to be with Romo. You want to know who Romo is. It's not Madden when we just put a player in, boom, we get it on. You want to be familiar with the guys you have. Then when training camp comes, you install it. You look quick because here's the thing: you already had a head start. You want to have a head start. You don't want to just start, and that's important. It's the same thing. It's the same thing what Brandon Marshall did for the Giants. You know what he did? He invited all the receivers and Eli Manning to what's out of Miami. Why? Because hey, listen, we all know in May. It's mandatory minicamp. Oh, should be not mandatory, but we want to get a head start. That way we can look good. Yeah. So if Bob McNair, Mr. Bob McNair, this is Tim from 2 Minute Warning Fury. I'm giving you a nice respectful message, sir. Listen, if you want something, you go get it. You don't sit and wait for it because somebody else may go in the cookie jar and take it. If you want the cookie, go take the cookie. Don't let somebody's hand go in the jar. It's not a good thing. Ooh, I can't wait.
Hey, yeah, I think we're all excited for the draft.
Draft picks, all draft picks. Third, they got 2 thirds they can give us, a 5th, all that stuff. All that.
Oh man, you got to get that fantasy out of your head.
He is.
It's not healthy for you, man.
That's the only I mean, I gotta hand it to Tim. The way he pitches this, the way he sells it, you should really be working for the Cowboys. You should be on their marketing team because you are unreal. There are actually Cowboy fans that are watching this that are buying into the BS that you're selling.
Always, every year. That's why we have so many Cowboys fans in the group. I've seen the light. Who is this guy?
Listen. I learned from the best, Jerry Jones. I learned from the best.
Man.
He sells it. Learn from the best. How he does it.
I think that's gonna wrap us up for the night, Tim.
Wait, but one quick thing. You know what's so funny? They just said that they booked Jerry Jones's room right next door to Elway's room and Bob McNair's room at the owners' meeting. So you know what that means? That means when Jerry Jones comes out of his nightgown, his shorts, his brolic shirt, he walks in the hallway and knocks on the door asking Bob some sugar. He's going to have a Romo shirt on to Tony Romo. Oh, you got some sugar there? It's about for my tea. Oh,
and John Elway is going to say, "Oh, that's cute. Maybe we should give Paxton Lynch that number."
Elway's going to say, "I take Splenda, thank you."
Well, here's the thing. As long as there's no semen there, we good.
And folks, that's going to end the night.
I meant the quarterback.
Yes, thank you.
We're going to take a long 7-day break after this.
Quarterback, semen. The quarterback, semen. The
All right, folks, that
quarterback.
wraps it up for us. 2-Minute Warning Football Fury. You can catch us on Facebook, facebook.com/group/2MW Sports. Also on Twitter @2MW Fury. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. And we got a lot of mock drafts. We got Tim and Shim's mock draft 2.0 coming up soon. We got the draft in 35 days, like we discussed. And thank you for joining us tonight from Tim and Shim and the objectively biased one, Mr. Foggs. We will catch you knuckleheads next week.